I love paintings with a deeper meaning, which is a sentiment that you might share. There are very few paintings that have been discussed endlessly as this 17th century masterpiece. The moment you look at it, it's hard to stop staring until you know exactly what is going on here. It's clear that there's a lot more to it than what meets the eye at first glance. There's a little girl in the foreground who is surrounded by court servants. A painter is working on a huge canvas as he stares directly at the viewer. In the distance, there's an open door and a man leaves the room. Right next to it, two blurry figures appear in a mirror. I believe that this mirror is one of the three main clues to decipher this puzzling work of art. It's clear that this isn't an easy painting to dissect, but let's try to come up with a conclusion. The painting is titled Las Meninas and it was painted by Diego Velázquez, the Spanish court painter at the time. It was completed in 1656, and what's remarkable is that the painting was originally known as La Familia. Only a decade later, in 1666, was it referred to as Las Meninas for the first time. This work is described as the culmination of Velázquez's career. He died just 4 years after he completed it, at the height of his ability. It's a good idea to take a closer look at the painter's career because it helps to explain why he painted Las Meninas. His early paintings were completed in his native Seville in southern Spain and are extremely realistic in nature. He painted family members and locals in taverns and other indoor settings, a type of genre painting known as bodegones. He was likely influenced by Caravaggio, the Italian Baroque master who perfected his use of light and shadow known as chiaroscuro. His talent quickly exceeded everybody else's in his hometown, and he left for Madrid in 1622. He was still in his early 20s at the time. That year, the Spanish court painter died, and Velázquez managed to quickly take his place. He painted his lifelong employer, King Philip IV of Spain, for the first time in 1623, and depicted him and his family numerous times throughout his career. His later technique featured loose brushstrokes, a style he developed the following decades and which was executed to perfection in this painting. Just look at the little girl's hair and dresses, and how the light on the little red pot is reflected using just a smidgen of white paint. Velázquez had been working for King Philip IV and his entourage for 33 years when he started painting this mesmerizing work of art. Now let's take a closer look at what we see in this painting. It depicts Velázquez's studio inside the Royal Alcazar of Madrid, the king's palace at the time. The light source from the window in the bottom right corner illuminates the people in the foreground. The little girl is the 5-year-old Infanta Margarita Teresa, the King and Queen of Spain's only daughter at the time. She is accompanied by two meninas, or maids of honor, a court dwarf and jester, a large sleeping dog, the girl's chaperone, and an unidentified man. Velázquez can be seen working on an immense painting as he looks at us. The more you look at this scene, the more it seems as if he is painting the viewer. This is quite awkward, but it's as if we become the sitters and we are transported into this 17th century palace room. The man leaving the room is barely visible, but he has been identified as José Nieto Velázquez, the artist's brother. He was the king's chamberlain at the time, and what's remarkable is that his presence marks the painting's entire vanishing point. And here's where it gets interesting. The mirror provides the main clue, as it shows Philip IV and his wife Queen Mariana of Austria. Because the vanishing point is inside the doorway, it becomes clear that it reflects the canvas that Velázquez is working on. Remarkably, this blurry mirror view is the only double portrait of the king and queen that Diego ever made, and that's also quite significant. These elements make it clear that we see the painting through the eyes of the king and queen, and we, the viewer, take their place as the sitter. For this mirror, the Spanish painter was likely inspired by the Arnolfini portrait, the incredible painting that Jan van Eyck completed in the 1430s. This painting was part of the Spanish royal collection and hung at the Royal Alcazar at the time. The second clue to understand Las Meninas is the canvas that Velázquez is working on, which is way too big to be a portrait. His most notable full-length portraits of the king and queen are about 2 meters tall or about 78 inches. This panel is extensively taller than that, and upon closer inspection, about the same size as Las Meninas itself. I'm sure you already guessed what I'm alluding to, which is that the painter depicted himself working on Las Meninas. This is further emphasized by the fact that the palette he holds features the exact colors used to complete the painting. It's this illusion, this mind trick, that confuses just about everybody who looks at this puzzling work of art. In order to fully understand it, we need to find the missing piece of the puzzle, which explains the reason why Velázquez created Las Meninas. I believe it's pretty clear that this wasn't a painting that was commissioned. It was conceived entirely by the brilliant painter himself. The final clue is the red cross on the artist's chest, which is a symbol of the knighthood of Santiago. Velázquez was on a quest to be knighted by the King of Spain, something he had dreamed of for many years. His submission was rejected multiple times. His Flemish colleague Peter Paul Rubens was knighted by King Philip IV of Spain in 1624, over 3 decades earlier. The Spanish master eventually received this honor in 1659, which was 3 years after Las Meninas was completed. Some historians have argued that this cross was added after this event, but more recent examinations have concluded that it was part of the original painting. So I believe that this red cross reveals the motive behind the painting, as he wanted to make a statement about his ambitions. So to conclude, here's my opinion about Las Meninas and what it actually means. Velázquez likely painted it as a gift for King Philip IV of Spain, and the motive was to finally be accepted to the honor of knighthood. The mirror serves as an optical illusion, so whoever looks at it believes that he is working on their portrait. The canvas he actually works on is Las Meninas itself. This creates a sense of duality that highlights the painter's brilliance. Now here's another interesting notion about Las Meninas. That same year, he painted the 5-year-old Infanta Margaret Teresa of Spain wearing very similar clothes as in Las Meninas. The king and queen probably sat right there while the Meninas and other servants tried to get the girl ready for a posing session. So I believe that this scene can be interpreted as a snapshot of a funny anecdote of an event that happened around that time. The man leaving the room was the artist's brother, and he was in charge of the tapestry department. He probably worked in the room next door, and seeing him entering and leaving his brother's studio was likely a common sight as well. Now here's the most interesting thought to ponder. For many centuries, Velázquez has been painting everybody who stares at this amazing work of art. Every time he did, he convinced the viewer that he was indeed one of the most talented painters who ever lived. He managed to elevate his art to the level of nobility to which he was finally admitted. Finally, it's also nice to take a look at a couple of similar paintings to get an even better understanding of Las Meninas. Dutch Golden Age painter Johannes Vermeer, another of my favorites, painted himself working on a portrait just 10 years later in 1666. He never let go of this masterpiece, and the intention behind it is, in my opinion, very similar. Vermeer used it to impress potential customers who visited his studio. Just like Velázquez, he used this painting to tell everybody just how good he was. It's known as The Art of Painting, a title that would have been a great fit for Las Meninas as well. Diego's equally famous Spanish colleague Goya painted himself together with the royal family of Spain for whom he was working. Goya clearly understood Velázquez's intention to elevate his art to a higher plateau. But unlike Velázquez, it's pretty sure that Goya felt that he didn't get the recognition he deserved as he squeezed himself into a corner. To wrap up this video, I want to mention that it's a miracle that we can still admire Las Meninas today. The Royal Alcazar of Madrid burned to the ground on Christmas Eve of 1734. Dozens of paintings, including Las Meninas, were flung out of the palace windows to safety. It was damaged and cut on both sides, but it was saved. something that sadly can't be said about dozens of other works of art. Today, it resides at the Prado Museum, which is located near the huge new Royal Palace of Madrid. It has mesmerized people for centuries and will continue to serve this purpose, just the way the painter intended originally.